Good morning, students. So if you remember what the videos that I had sent last, the videos that were uploaded last, it was on types of mixtures. We were in the chapter elements, compounds and mixtures, and my last video was on types of mixtures where we had, separated mixtures into homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. Now today's topic that I'm going to take up, since now you have your textbooks with you, so it will be easier for you to go through the videos and then relate it with your textbooks. Please do that. Please do not depend only on the videos. Ensure that you are seeing your textbooks and you are understanding exactly what we are trying to say and relating it together. So today our topic of discussion, or we begin our topic of discussion with the topic separation of mixtures. Now when we talk of separation of mixtures, what type of mixtures are we talking of? Now we have 5 categories over here. The first category is solid-solid mixture. Next is solid liquid mixtures. Next is liquid liquid mixtures, liquid gas mixtures, as well as gas gas mixtures. Now today in our video, obviously we will not be able to cover all the 5 of them. So we will cover the first 2 of them, that is solid solid mixtures, that is a mixture comprising of 2 different kinds of solids or maybe 3 different kinds of solids, and a solid liquid mixtures where one of the component of a mixture is in solid state and the other component is in a liquid state. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that there are just 2 components in a mixture. There might be more components, but one at least has to be in the liquid state. So our topic of discussion today is solid mixtures and solid liquid mixtures. So moving on, let's move to the next page. I have put in the methods of separation of solid mixtures. Now I hope this is visible to all of you. I have tried to write it in different color pens so that it becomes better for all of you. The first one that we will take up is hand picking, or we also call it mechanical removal. Now what do I exactly mean by mechanical removal? What I have given here are examples, some typical examples, but I also need to explain it to you. So hand picking is basically when there are 2 solids, they have different textures, they have different color, and they are large enough to be separated by us using our own hands. So you will see sometimes when our father brings, when you will see your father has brought rice from the market and your mother is sitting on the dining table and she's separating tiny stones from that rice. So that's a very important example of hand picking. That is only possible because the rice and the stones look different. They are big enough for them to be separated. I'll give you one more example. When you buy a packet of gems and I tell you that separate all the gems based on their colors, you can do it easily using your hand. You don't need any other method because all of them have different colors and they are visible to you and they are large enough for them to be separated using our hand itself. Next, magnetic separation. Now what do I mean by magnetic separation? My example here is iron and sulfur. My example here is iron and sulfur. Now for magnetic separation to be possible, you can understand one of the components, at least one of the components of this mixture has to have a magnetic property. What do I mean by magnetic property? What I mean is that it should be attracted by a magnet. It should be attracted by a simple magnet. Some of the components that have magnetic properties are iron, cobalt, nickel. I have given the example of iron and sulfur. Moving on, my third type of separation method is sublimation. Now you have already studied sublimation is the interconversion of a component or of a substance from the solid state directly into the gaseous state. Now here if I have to separate 2 solids by sublimation method, what I mean is that one of the solids should have the property of sublimation. That is, it should be able to directly sublime from the solid state to the gaseous state. The example that I have taken here is sand and iodine. Now which one is the sublimable here? Iodine is a sublimable substance here. So it's like that sand and iodine mixture, if you are heating it, if you have mixed it in a bowl and you are heating it, after a certain point of time, iodine is directly converted to its vapor and it will leave the mixture, leaving behind sand. Hence, your mixture is already separated. Iodine has left as vapors, and what is left behind in your this bowl is actually only sand. The next method I will come to is actually gravitational method. Now, what do I mean by gravitational method, and what depends, or what is the perfect particular criterion for gravitational method to stand? This is the situation where the weight or the masses of the two solids have to be different, or two or three components, whatever we are talking of, they have to be different. Now, when I say different, what do I mean by it? For example, I've taken the example of sand and sawdust. You can see clearly it is sand and sawdust. Now, if I've taken the example of sand and sawdust, and what I do is I totally dissolve this particular mixture in water. What will happen? Sand, because it is heavier, it will settle down at the bottom of the container containing water, and sawdust will keep on floating at the surface of water. So now if I just turn it, if I turn the container and if I put the water down, I will see the sawdust, because it is floating at the top. It's floating at the top, so obviously it will be separated first, then the water will come off and sand will be left off at the bottom of the container. So in gravitational method, a simple mixture of sand and sawdust can just be separated on the basis of the fact that sawdust is very light as compared to sand. Water here is taken as a third component, which actually helps us in separating the two. It's not that water is a part of the mixture, it is taken up as a third component because it helps us in separating sand and sawdust. There are more examples on the textbook. Please don't feel that you have to follow only these examples. These are the examples that I have taken to make you understand. The next one that I go to is solvent extraction. Now, this is a similar method, but the reasoning is a little different. Here we have again two salts. You can see the two salts that I have given you are sodium chloride and calcium carbonate. You can see clearly I have given you sodium chloride and calcium carbonate. Now, again, they have been made into a mixture. I take that mixture, I dissolve it in water. I will see one of the salt will precipitate or will remain as a residue at the bottom of the container, whereas the other salt will actually dissolve in water. So what happens in this case is that NaCl will dissolve in water, whereas calcium carbonate, being an insoluble salt, it will actually settle down as a residue at the bottom of the container. So solvent extraction is a clear case where we are separating two solid components on the basis of their solubility in a particular solvent. In this case, for sodium chloride and calcium carbonate, my solvent that I have chosen is water. That is all about solvent extraction. I again repeat, there might be more examples in the textbook. Please go through them once. The next one that I come to is fractional crystallization. Now, fractional crystallization is actually I can say it is an extension of solvent extraction. It's like if you understand solvent extraction, you already know a lot of fractional crystallization. This is a case where both are soluble in that solvent. The previous case was when one was insoluble, the other one was soluble. Here in fractional crystallization, both are soluble. The extent differs. Now, what do I mean by the extent differs? One of them will be very highly soluble and the other one will be a little less soluble. So, I have taken the example of sodium chloride and potassium nitrate. So, in sodium chloride and potassium nitrate is very readily soluble in water. So if I'm comparing sodium chloride and potassium nitrate, the one that will dissolve faster is actually potassium nitrate. So what will happen? So suppose you have taken the mixture, you have added it to water and you have heated it. So it all dissolves. But when you are actually cooling down that hot solution, you will see that potassium nitrate will actually crystallize out, or it will leave the reaction, or it will leave the mixture as crystals and it will settle at the bottom of the beaker. So the solution that is left behind is boiled again and cooled to separate out more potassium nitrate. So the more you boil, again you cool down, potassium nitrate is separated out. This process is called fractional crystallization. So what you did is you dissolve both sodium chloride and potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate being more soluble, it's 100% dissolved in water. Now you heat it, and after heating it, you let it cool down to room temperature. When you are letting it cool down to room temperature, automatically you will see that potassium nitrate crystals are separating out at the bottom of the beaker. Sodium chloride crystals are not separating out. It's a beautiful reaction. It literally looks like magic, where a very clear solution all of a sudden on cooling is showing crystals below. These crystals are only potassium nitrate crystals, which helps you in separating potassium nitrate from sodium chloride. And the last method that we are bothered about is winnowing. Now, winnowing, I call it, winnowing is actually an extension of a mechanical method or hand picking. Why do I call it an extension of hand picking? All of you have seen at home, you have seen your grandmas or you have seen your mothers, when they have brought grains back at home, that may be rice grains, that might be sometimes wheat. Sometimes instead of hand picking the stones or instead of hand picking the husk, what they do is they shake it very nicely. They take it in a particular container or they take it in an open faced container and they shake it very nicely. When they are shaking it, automatically the husk slowly, the husk is the I can call it, it's the useless part, that is the impurity part in the grains present that we do not consume in our food. So automatically it has to be removed. So on constant shaking in a particular manner, you will see that the husk slowly is actually separating out from the grains. I'm sure you have all seen your grandmas or mothers do it somewhere or the other in your kitchen sometime in your life. So that is the example of winnowing. It is actually an extension, a very simple extension of hand picking or mechanical separation method. So these are some of the processes of separation of solid-solid mixtures. Now, since we have already had a pretty long video, so I think I had thought of doing also solid liquid mixtures, but I think that will also take up a lot of time. So today's video we will stop at the solid-solid mixtures. Please ensure you open your textbook, you go through from the beginning elements, compounds, mixtures, types of mixtures, differences between elements and compounds, differences between compounds and mixtures, and also the methods of separation of solid-solid mixture that has been shown here. Any problems, please post on the comment box. Make sure the queries are legitimate and go through the book. Next week when we come up with a new video, we will have solid liquid mixtures and we will also have a lot of question answers from our solid mixtures and solid liquid mixtures. Thank you.